Hey sis, welcome to another episode of Starting Over with London. So sis, in this episode, it's a little bit different. I'm sharing some of my journey of my incarceration with you. I think it's really important that I share not just my good times with you, but my low times as well, because that all plays a part in the woman that I am today. So sis, make sure you hit that subscribe button and support. I appreciate you. That's the love. The day I got locked up started off just like any other day. It was a beautiful day outside. I remember the exact little summer dress that I had on. I got up, went to go get a cup of coffee, ran to the bank, other few little errands, and I was buying a plane ticket. I was about to go somewhere, just for like a little vacation, just to get away. And as soon as I purchased the ticket and they sent me the email confirmation to let me know that my purchase went through, it was a heavy knock on the door and it was the feds. And honestly, I wasn't all the way that scared when they came and got me. I was like, I'll be out tonight. This is crazy. Like the things that they were saying to me, I was like, this doesn't even make sense. It was my first time. They take me to the county jail. And they immediately booked me and put me back into the common area and back into the jail pretty much. And so I remember just walking in and it's like this big dorm room pretty much, and it's these two tier. A tier is basically, it's basically a two-level county jail. And so the bottom floor is called tier number 1 and the top floor is tier number 2. So they put me on the bottom floor, tier 1. And they open the door and there's 2 bunks in there, but there's 2 women already in there. And so I'm like, okay, where am I supposed to go in this little tiny room? So pretty much the girl in the top bunk, she was like, oh, it's hot, I'll get on the floor. So she pulls her bunk off the top and puts it on the floor, and I get on the top bunk. And so in this particular county jail that I was at, you were on lockdown for 22 hours a day. So that meant that you were locked and secured in your room for 22 hours and you were let out for 2 hours a day. So when you were let out for 2 hours, that was pretty much the time that you could use to take a shower, use the phone. Some of the ladies, they would just like walk around the common area to basically get some exercise or stretch their legs. And other ladies would basically like play cards, talk to the other women, socialize, basically to keep your sanity. So when they let us out for the 2 hours a day, the only thing I'm thinking of is I need to talk to my mother. So your first phone call when the person answers is free. So pretty much how this goes is you dial the number and they'll say, please record your name at the beep. And so you record your name and then it'll call the person. I'm calling this number and I will hear the person pick up, but then they will hang up. So then I will call back and I'm like, please mom, pick up, this is a mistake, just please pick up, I need to talk to you. And I could hear the person on the other end hang up and they will say, this person did not accept your phone call, and the phone would just click out. And because wasn't really loud in the pod, they wouldn't allow us, they would keep the noise, the officers, keep the noise level. The other ladies would hear me trying to get my mother on the phone. So I would turn around, I'm only at the time 23 years old, so I'm looking like sad Sally, looking like a little girl. And the ladies will try to like uplift my spirits. They'll be like, it's okay, she gonna pick up. It's okay, she just mad, but she'll pick up, baby, tomorrow. Just try it tomorrow. So the next day, I'll call again. Mom, please pick up. It's just a mistake. I need you. Please pick up. I will hear the person hang up. And y'all, that was just like, that was not a good feeling. For the next couple days, that's just how my days went. I just could not wait to get out to call my mother. And I was just hoping and praying that she was going to pick up. But she never picked up. A few days later, after I got locked up, they scheduled my first court appearance. So as soon as I walk into the courtroom, my mother sees me, y'all, and she just bursts out into tears. And the first thing she says to me is, why haven't you called me? So whoever I was calling this entire time was not my mother. Because like we don't really pay attention to no one's number, when you have the contacts and everything in your cell phone. So yeah, so just imagine somebody was getting some phone calls from me talking about, Mom, please pick up. And it was not, whoever it was not my mother. The first day I saw my mother in the courtroom, it was just very emotional. And the purpose of this court date was to see if I could get released on pretrial release. So pretrial release is basically when they would allow me to go home and just come back for my court dates. And my lawyer told me, I had never been in trouble before. So my lawyer told me that more than likely I'll get out on pretrial release. And I just remember seeing my mother and my baby sister, who was 3 at the time. And I felt so guilty because my mom had my 3-year-old sister there. She couldn't find a babysitter. My court date was last minute. My mom, we didn't know about this stuff, As my lawyer is asking for me to get out on pretrial release, the prosecutor is telling the judge that I'm a danger to society. I don't need to get out. I need to be in custody. I'm a risk. And I remember she was just saying all these terrible things about me. And it was like, who is she talking about? There was folks, other people's family members who were sitting behind me. And it was so crazy. I'm turning around, looking at them and my handcuffs and everything. Who is she talking about? Who is she talking about? It was so crazy, y'all, like a Twilight Zone. These folks is looking at me you, it looked like they talking about you. They probably thought I was crazy, for real. Anyway, at the end of that court date, they did not let me go. So pretty much, I went in one day and didn't come out until a little bit over 8 years later. The day that I got sentenced, by this time, I had pretty much sat in county jail for close to a year. And I just really didn't know what to expect that day. Yeah, I signed a 5-year plea, and I knew I was going to have to go to prison for a little bit, but yeah, I was just ready to get it over and done with, pretty much. And so that day in the courtroom, it was just pretty much a fog. Hearing what the prosecutor was saying about me and what my lawyer was doing, it was just a lot going on. And my mother was there and a few other folks were there. And I remember when it was time for me to get sentenced and the judge said whatever he said, I couldn't really even understand him. He said, Crowdy, you have been sentenced to, and I couldn't hear anything. Only thing I heard at that moment was my mother scream out and cry. She just screamed. And I remember just looking back at her, of course in my little jail suit and my handcuffs and everything. And I remember just telling her, I was like, Mom, please don't cry. God had to do it this way. Please don't cry. The marshals came and they just pushed me out the courtroom. I couldn't hug my mom, couldn't say anything else to her. And the truth was that I didn't even know how much time I had been sentenced to. I didn't even find out how much time I had been sentenced to until I had saw my paperwork when they gave it to me. And it said that I had been sentenced to 165 months. So I'm trying to do the math on that. I didn't even, my mind was just so all over the place. So when I finally broke it down, I realized that I had been sentenced to 13 years and 9 months. I remember just at that moment, I feel like I just stopped feeling. I remember just feeling like detaching from myself. And that's how I pretty much did my time, was I didn't allow myself to feel. And honestly, I didn't feel bad for myself. The person that I felt for the most was my mother.